Hey everybody, it's Ricky. So this video is pretty much just me sharing my story. I just gotta warn you, I'm gonna be 100% real in this video. Not saying I wasn't in other ones, but some of the things I say may surprise some of you because you may not have known the old me. So I'm just warning you guys about that. Please don't judge me. Here goes. So let's just say my grandparents were always, religious. They were Christian. And when we were little, they got us into reading the Bible and stuff. And so, like, I always believed in God, like, my whole life, just because I was raised that way, thankfully. But unfortunately, my parents weren't super religious. Like, they didn't really go to church that much. And that's just, I mean, not saying that they were, like, sinners or atheists or whatever. Like, they believed in God, too. They just weren't big on church, like, you know. So, years went by, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to fast forward to, like, when I was a teenager and things went down. So in high school, I was pretty much like any other teen, just trying to find my way, where I fit in or whatever. And I went down the wrong road a lot of times. And basically, I think everything went bad because I was like the nerd in high school. I always wanted to get like straight A's and be like the nerd and take all these honors classes. So everyone knew me as a goody good, whatever. But then I started dating this guy and it got really serious, and I ended up losing my innocence. And then after that, that's kind of where everything went downhill. And I'm not blaming him. It was totally me. My curiosity is what got the best of me, and I ended up doing that. And then after we had a really bad breakup, and it was right actually before I dated him. My dad had passed away. He got shot like 3 years ago. So I was going through that, and I kind of was very vulnerable at the time, I guess. So that's when like we just started dating or whatever. And so I was going through that, and then after the breakup, I was just like broken down. Like it was dumb stuff, and it was like right before senior year in high school. So then I just started getting into a lot of trouble, like my best friend and and I started going to parties which I didn't go to, and I started drinking which I didn't, and I got completely messed up one night and just for like no reason. So luckily it wasn't like in public. It was like at a friend's house. And like after that I didn't drink as much. I was like, no, that's not gonna happen again. And then I went clubbing once in Jamaica with family, or well, with my cousin, and I like loved it. And then after that, I went and bought like all these outfits, and I was like, man, when I hit up FSU, you can ask some people who knew me in high school. They were like, man, Ricky talked about going to the club like every lunch period or whatever. But yeah, I talked about going clubbing like every Wednesday. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be my thing, got all my outfits, all my cute things together. Yeah, and I used to listen to all, hip hop, rap, whatever. I was always blasting that stuff. And I was just like all mixed up in like the wrong things. I even started smoking weed. I smoked weed like 5, 6 times just because it seemed cool or whatever, which it wasn't. Like I knew through doing all that, I knew like this wasn't really where I was supposed to be. But I still kept chasing after that because I wanted to seem cool. I wanted to be more appealing to my ex, and it seemed like that was what he was into and all this stuff. And then I was like, I want to have sex. I want to have sex. Sorry, I'm just being real. That's how I was feeling. But thankfully, I had enough self-control to have only kept it at him. Like it didn't go any further than that. But I have done other things with people that I'm not proud of. But hey, that's where I was. And so I was just in all of this sin, just like purposely searching to find myself in these places. And then, and keep in mind, here's the messed up part. Like, my family and I had started going to church, I feel like my freshman year in high school or something. And, like, I was always going, and I started getting involved in, like, the media team doing camera and stuff, but, like, I was never fed while going to church. Like, I didn't go to listen to sermons. I went to get community service hours. That's just being real. And I was doing camera for, like, 2 years. Like, I was around great Christians, but none of it, like, I had such a hard heart. Like, none of it stuck. Like, I didn't care. Telling the truth, I didn't care. I would even go to church and my mind would be focused on like my boyfriend or like sexual things or just stuff it should not be focused on. I'd bring homework to church. Now, seriously. So like you can tell my mind was just not in it. And I actually had some people kept trying to invite me to youth, and I was like, I ain't going to that. Like, I ain't come here to make friends with people. I ain't come here to, be around these people. And so, whatever. Eventually, I did start going to youth. This was my senior year. After I had stopped all that, like partying and smoking weed and alcohol, whatever. I was like, no, I want to start my senior year off right. So I stopped doing all that. But I went, my youth pastor at the time, which he's still the youth pastor there now, he preached in the main sanctuary, and I don't remember what the sermon was on, but all I know, that was the moment where I decided that I was going to give my life to Christ. And so I did, and I remember, like, I was so scared. I was like, no, like, I don't want to do that because my whole life's going to change. I don't want to change. I want to do what I want. I want to go clubbing. I want to, maybe not drink because I wasn't really into that, but I just want to do what I want and have no one tell me what to do. And I was scared. And I remember I went up to like the altar to tell pastor, and he was like, why are you scared? And I'm like, because I don't want to change. And he was like, well, like, from this point on, this is going to change the rest of your life. And I didn't believe him. Let me tell you, I would never have thought that I would be where I am right now. Like, I never would have thought that I would be in a church like that. I was like, okay, yeah. Like I said, I'd always believe in God, whoop-de-doo. But, like, I never thought about having a relationship with him, believing in Jesus, sure not worshiping nobody. Like, just, I was into myself, just doing my own thing in the ways of this world. Like, I didn't care about being a Christian. And I was even harsh towards other Christians. I was like, oh, look at them, da-da-da-da. And, like, I had such an ugly heart. Like, people wouldn't think so, but I did, man. Like, I was like judging people silently, like in my head, and I was not I was not right. And so after that sermon, I went to a few of his wife's small groups, and one happened to be on sex, and I was like, why did I have to come to this one? And I got so convicted that night, man. Like, I was at her house, like, bawling, just feeling so bad. I was like, man, I already lost it, and blah, 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 blah. And so, whatever. And let's just say, like, a month from that, I got a purity ring, which I've been rocking since then. It's been, like, 2 years now. Been clean. I've been rocking it. I'm waiting for my husband now. Like, sex is not in it for me anymore. Like, I am waiting for my husband. And yeah, it's still hard. Yeah, I still think about it a lot, like, more than I should. But, like, I know that God's forgiving me. He's helping me to work past that and to just focus on being renewed in him. So now I am pretty much a virgin again because he has washed me clean and I'm free from that. So there's a praise report for that. Woo! And of course I don't do all this other stuff I used to. Like, the whole clubbing thing, when I first came to FSU, it was kind of like, it was like a temptation, sort of. But I said no to it, and it didn't become that problem. I lost the desire to do all the things that I used to do. I lost that. Like, it wasn't me. It was totally Jesus that, like, came in and, like, whoosh, like, washed me clean. And, like, I just lost those desires. Like, like, I just didn't want to do them anymore. I didn't find pleasure in it. And I realized that after prom, like, because I wasn't into that music anymore. I was just like, I don't want to listen to this. Like, this isn't what I need to be listening to, especially starting as a new Christian. Like, I didn't want to do that. One of the things I was also freed from in relation to sex was, like, I was obsessed with watching porn, which is, like, really bad, and I was so into it and, like, cursing all the time and whatever, and God totally freed me from that stuff. Like, I've never done it since then. Like, he freed me from a lot of things that, like, I totally forgot that I was into, and I'm just saying, like, he's freed me from that stuff, man. Like, so I've tried everything, y'all, and, like, now he has changed me. Like, I also used to think, I'd be like, why would God, this was totally ignorant, why would God create us to worship him and not have any of these fun things, okay? That was totally the enemy, okay? Christians see fun differently than the world does. Like, we see fun in, like, fellowship and, like, clean fun and just, like, being around joyful people, It's fun following God and having, like, that purpose, like, feeling used by him as far as, like, him using you to glorify him, like, not, like, using you in a bad way. But, and it's just crazy just how much I've changed internally, Like, I have joy now, I have purpose now. I'm not constantly judging others, and if I catch myself doing that, I'll be like, hey, like, you know what, they're God's child. Like, don't look at them at the surface level. Like, I have confidence now that I didn't think I would have. Like, I love living for him, man. I never would thought I would be a Christian. I always think, I'm like, wow, like, honestly, I did not think I would be right here, man. If it wasn't for me getting saved, I would not be in Chi Alpha, which is a Christian organization I'm in. Like, I wouldn't be doing none of this, man. I'd probably be hitting up the clubs every Thursday night. I'd be partying like crazy. I'll be boy obsessed and everything. And God has changed me, man. He saved me. And that's just a part of my story, man. And, like, with my dad, like, he's brought me so much healing from that, Like, I still have a father, and he's God. God is my heavenly father. I am not fatherless. I have God who's leading me and who's healed me from that. Like, that's not hurting me, and I'm not using that as an excuse of why I rebel against the world. That's my own choice. It has nothing to do with my dad passing away, because it happens, man. People lose loved ones every day, and God has just healed me from that, and he's continuing to allow me to grow in him and to know him, and I'm just being real with y'all, man. Like, I didn't know I would be here right now, and I am so honored. Like, it's crazy to even think that I still am where he wants me right now, man. And to think that he's living in me, like his spirit's in me, like that just that just hit me like today. Like, God is living in me, man. If I just let him manifest into like him just speaking through me and just allowing him to lead me and to be who guides me, like that is just so powerful, man. So anyways, that's just my story. If y'all have any questions or just want to say anything, just hit me up. I just wanted to be real with y'all so y'all know where I'm coming from. Like, I'm not this perfect person that's just making videos. Like, I mess up a lot, and I'm not perfect. And I'm not saying that I don't struggle with things now. I do still struggle with things, Like I said, I still struggle with thinking about sex sometimes. I still struggle with temptations. I struggle with judging others. I struggle with fear. That's a big one. And like lack of confidence and everything like that. Like, I'm not perfect. I am trying to say that. I'm just saying that I had a God who loved me so much that he sent his son to save me, that I am saved by his grace, not by anything that I could do. Jesus reached out to me. So I could tell you so many times that I can look at my past and be like, Jesus, that was him reaching out to me. Like, seeds were planted and they kept growing and growing, and to the point where I am now, and I'm still growing. And it's by Jesus. He is the reason that I'm here. He's the reason that I do these videos. He's the reason for my being, man. Like, this is why I do what I do, because of him, so people can know him. And I need to stop being scared sometimes and just share that with people. So I hope y'all are blessed by this video, man. Just know that God can change anybody, man. That you don't have to come to him as you are. Because I already told you, I didn't even want him like that. Like, I didn't want to live for him. I didn't do that. He was just like, come on. I was like, all right, let's do this. And he changed me. Like, I couldn't change myself. He changed me. He delivered me from the sin that I was living in. And he is the reason why I am here right now, why I'm a Christian right now, why I found a love that's greater than any love you can ever imagine. He is love. God is love. So don't go looking everywhere else for that, man. He's the only one who could bring you that true satisfaction and just bring that purpose for you to have in life. He's the only one who could bring that to you and to give you hope that you wouldn't imagine, and to heal you from things that you've struggled with your whole life. He can redeem you from that. And y'all just got to know him if you don't, man. Like, seriously, man, God is legit. He is legit, and I love him so much, and he's changed me so much, and I just wanted to share that with y'all. So be blessed. God bless. Good night.